What's up, guys? What's up, Seba? This is for you. I'm going to do a little trade recap on your trades today. I'm going to give you a report card. Just like we're back in school, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's share this. Perfect. All right. For you guys who don't know, Saba is my buddy. He trades with me. I am currently teaching him how to trade. He's only ever blown one account, and the second account he got with top one futures, he passed and is funded. Currently, he is in drawdown due to full porting FOMC. Anyways, yeah. So before we actually used Trade Zella, as you guys see me use, we always use Notion. No, I like Notion just because you can get a better specific type of analysis for your trades. Plus, they have an AI that can calculate all your trades and then take that data together and piece it together, which is nice, right? I still recommend using TradeZella over this. I think TradeZella is just a simpler process, and you can have the same type of organized data that you do in Notion. So, but since Seba doesn't use Notion or he doesn't use TradeZella, he uses Notion, right? Um, Calculates overall win rate, best strategy, type ones. Type ones are just extreme bursts of volume. That's what we call them, right? And I used to put my data in here too. Lots of wins and losses, as you guys can see. All right, so let's start with today's. All right, look at that. It's fucking awesome. New longs are in. Order book and market pulse confirmed big buyer volume in the market. Once price broke opening range high, entered in on longs, originally targeting 77 level. TP1 set at 750 via bookmap, resting orders. However, the price continued trending upwards with new orders forming at 800 level. So I set the TP there, scalped in and out, taking profits along the way, and ultimately took a $300 profit in total, taking full TP. Perfect trending move that I managed to catch 90 points of. Could be more happy, perfect execution, but could have originally caught more if I got in with original bias and entered in longs originally. Cannot complain though. Take it as a learning lesson over anything else. That is awesome, right? So I was always concerned with perfecting his trades, right? Even if he has a winning trade, he still wants to perfect that winning trade. You can always learn from losers, and you can always learn from winners. So that's awesome. That's just an awesome concept to look at, right? And then the way we organized it, we put in how many we entered in for. He entered in for 7 to 10 micros in total. The view up reaction was off the upper band on a high time frame continuation. $300 win, 0.3 on his account, long funded. Thursday, September, New York Open, 1 minute key level reaction, 1 minute order sweep, and a VWAP confirmation as his time frame type. And then no wick, right? So this is the move he catch. I mean, that's just the perfect move. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. Saba, I mean, besides entering early, I mean, you could have entered in on this candle right here, but I mean, you had the perfect entry. I don't know. I don't know what else you're trying. I mean, besides catching this original move to the downside that we saw today, I mean, dude, I don't see any other like entries besides the break of opening range. I mean, that's just. I mean, look at that. It's just a beautiful play. You caught the very top. You should be happy, right? I mean, what is there to learn? I mean, yeah, we could have caught the bottom of the range and then targeted way past that. That would have been ultimately a great move, but we didn't know, right? You don't know, but you got to wait for confirmation, and then you finally do know, right? Your confirmation is that we targeted off those VWAP breaks. That looks like all-time high, New York, low of day, and overnight, and then there's probably one more. It's probably all-time high, right? Broke all those VWAPs. You knew we had a bullish momentum move. You took it. You didn't hesitate. Broke opening range. Took full profits. That's fucking beautiful, right? You can always complain about not catching the full move. No one catches the full move every single time, right? That's called impossible because that means you know what the market is doing before it happens, which is very hard to target, right? You wait for confirmation and then you enter in based on that move, depending how far that move is along, right? But I mean, A plus trade, man. I mean, what else is there to learn from this? Um, I'm sure you scaled in and out. I don't remember if you did, but I mean, it's just such a great target move. I mean, that's the kind of trades you expect to have every single day, and you pray to have every single day, right? Let's see here, and then you took okay, so you lost the first trade because we both went in short, right? So you had the opposing bias of oh no, that's a oh he broke even on this. Oh, I think that's okay. He put it in the wrong day. It wasn't September 18th. It was September 17th. Um, no, he won this trade. I know he won. He won $100, right? Same thing. I mean, you just caught the move earlier because the VWAP bands were higher, right? Letting you target that whole entire move, right? I caught that move all the way up here. I had the anticipation. I saw the orders to the downside. I saw the targets, right? Right. Though I mean, yeah, you missed some of the move, but you entered in based on your confirmation, right? You had your confirmation, you took the entry based on that confirmation, and then you had your targets, and you should have just held to the downside. That's all. This is a minus, a minus execution because you could have just held, right? If you would have held and wouldn't have been scared of drawdown, right? So let's say because let's say you took some profits right here, and then you wanted to re-enter right here, and you're coming into a little bit of drawdown. Do not be scared of that little drawdown, right? Because you have that access profit that you made. So why not continue with that momentum, right? Even if you get stopped out at break even up here, right? Let's say it takes away your profits from this, right? And you stop out and get break even. Who cares? You're break even for the day. Call it a day, whatever, right? Or just don't enter in as much, right? I think you were only in for one micro. Once you knew this move was confirmed, right? I would have entered two here, waited right here. I entered for I think four up here. If you re-entered right here because we weren't coming anywhere near these bands, you could have targeted a bigger move to the downside like you did right here. Exited out most of that position, or exited out here a little bit, re-enter here, exit out here, and then just play with the order flow, right? Lately, like the last 2-3 days, all we've been seeing is just perfect order flow. Higher highs, higher lows. I mean, there's nothing better you can ask for that. You just can't be scared of the drawdown that comes with it. You're always, I mean, most likely than not, 80% of your trades are going to be in some type of drawdown no matter what. Even just depends on your entry. Price can always retest, price can always come up or go the opposite of your trade. The best thing you can do is just be mindful of it. Don't be scared. Don't anticipate. Just read what the market is doing, have your stops placed accordingly, and just wait for the fucking move to happen because it does happen, right? It's just those type of days, the days that the move comes and you see the move and you're just waiting, right? You see these small ranges created, so we know it could pull back. Just wait for the pullback to finish and you're going to get your move regardless, right? Pull, and then right here pulls back again, boom, and then that's another like, what is that? uh Price was at 50, came down to 22. So a 28-point move, right? That's still a great move. That's still a great move. And you could have caught that move, but you're just getting scared, right? I think you have no problem, like no flaws with your system because your system is based on your entries. Your entries are perfect based on the confluences you get from that system. All you have to do is just not get scared, right? If you don't get scared and you just let the price move, right? It's gonna be nice. It's nice and clean. Even if you end up down $50 for the day, what's the big deal? You didn't catch the full move. You don't catch the full move every day. But in this case, you could have catch the full move, so you could have just made the most of it, right? You could have just been a little bit more patient, wait for that retest to happen. We obviously seeing clear lower highs, lower lows. Just move with the order flow, man. We didn't see no contracts to the upside. I guarantee that. And if it did, it was probably somewhere around here, right as at the opening range. Should have just fucking took it. All right. What else do we got here? We got September 16th pre-market analysis. Which one is this? He said he won this one. Okay. Small. Okay, that was Tuesday's. $100 win. Key level rejection. Let's read this. Pre-market open analysis. Higher time frame overnight sessions activity indicated bearish sentiment for today's New York session. New NQ opened up and immediately started falling, dipping under all key VWAP levels in the opening range, which was 40 points. Waited for the initial opening range low break and retest to enter in on a short. Accidentally got out of the first position, back $20 in profit, but ended up entering at a better price later on. Was targeting the previous low for TP1, 460 level for TP2, and the 435 level for TP3. Awesome. Love that. 100-point move to the downside. Okay, but that's the problem was that day it was a small ranging day, so that was just a too big of an anticipated move, right? Ended up taking partials, $100 win. It was stopped out for his final leg of the trade. Small range EPA today. Set expectations of moving too big given the market conditions. However, managed to still walk away with some profit, which is always better than a loss. Lesson today is to take given conditions into greater account and play it accordingly. On a day like today, could have entered in on a greater position size with a tighter stop loss. True story, right? We were talking about that on Tuesday, right? If you're in a 30-point, 40-point range, do not be expecting 100-point moves, right? That's just as simple as that. Either way, his analysis was perfect. I mean, on a choppy day, there's not much you can do. You can take some partials, whatever that may be, right? In this case, I'm assuming his entry was the break of New York, right? Came back into his drawdown, and he probably exited out here. So still good profit. I don't know how many points is that, maybe 30, 20, 30 points he caught. Still profit, right? In days like this, there's just not much you can do, right? We just see the break of opening range. You see the retest, enters in on the retest, sweeps, looks like Asia low, comes up into a little bit of drawdown, right? It starts coming down a little bit more, and then he probably took profits right here, right? He realized price wasn't going to go any lower, right? Or it was just going to keep bouncing around in a small range because it was just an equilibrium day, right? Buyers and sellers, they don't know what they want to do. It's just a little bit bearish for the day. Maybe one tech stop, maybe Tesla was up fucking 5% and the video was down 3%. So with NASDAQ, that would be, just like a weaker correlation in that aspect. But honestly, still great moves. I mean, not great moves. Still great trade. Stop set correctly. It looks like at Asia high and at opening range. So, still probably tanking in fucking $200 a drawdown right there. But, I mean, in this case, I would have just put it against the VWAP bands and then maybe entered in for another 2 contracts. Still risking the same amount, but odds of it reaching those VWAP bands is highly unlikely since we're playing around lower and lower, right? Order flow was bearish again. Just take it in as that, right? That on those kinds of days, we can't really do much. All right, and then we got September 10th. Oh my God, he hasn't been doing it. Okay. NQ set an 80-point opening range, indicating what I thought was going to be higher volatility market. Order book was showing massive fluff orders to the upside. Hate that. Same thing I saw this whole week, confirming buys for shorts. Entered in on a short after a slight break in upward momentum, targeting a 7 through price above VWAPs and earlier session highs. What ensued was an hour and a half of choppy consolidation that saw the market move 57 points to the downside in total. Aggressive buyer versus seller war all day long. Nvidia kept dragging price up despite so much space to play with it, as well as key levels to hit on the downside. Sat through that mess, was about to get out until price finally began to reverse, played around Asia high level, managed to lock in $60 in profit and set stop to break even if I was in the trade for 2 hours at this point. I was looking to cut it. I got stopped out. Ultimately, I would have hit full TP. However, that would have been sitting in a trade for yet another hour. Couldn't possibly be upset coming out green with this terrible PA. At least was patient through it. Emotions were not in play at all throughout the duration of this trade. Non-emotional, knew what was going on. Low volume, right? Low volume, choppy, high time for continuation, and we only got an order sweep of liquidity. B- setup, but he still made the most of it, still bagged some money, right? From what it seems that he missed the move. Okay, that's way too zoomed in, right? Okay, looks like okay. So you originally entered here, and I guess he got out up here, right? Um, yeah, should have never got out. You can't be scared of terrible PA sometimes. Um, I mean, no, this PA was just dog shit, man. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at. I mean, you enter in for long series, you consolidate, you never even hit opening range. So for days like this, man, I mean, there's just nothing you can do. I mean, you could hold the position for a couple hours, like you said, but it's not worth it. I mean, it's just to get that 100-point downswing and later in the day. I mean, we could have waited until this, right? Until we get a full break of all those VWAPs, which happened here, which I'm assuming you took profits right here. I mean, in all honesty, man, there's nothing you can do with days like this, right? We held a little bit above VWAP. We knew it wasn't bullish, and it eventually did have to go down, but it was till the end of the day, right? We can't control the markets, right? Some days are going to be like this. It's just either make sure you take your little partials, your little wins, or just make sure you're not in heavy drawdown, right? That's all you got to do. I mean, honestly, I mean, you did the best you can, right? I just don't understand the entry. I think you saw the sweep of, it looks like overnight, maybe. Right. If anything, like we just got to be patient next time. I know you don't want to sit in a trade for an hour, but if we're stuck in this kind of consolidation, might as well would see a full break of those VWAPs first, right? Stop against probably this high right here, and ultimately it would have been less timely of a move. It would have took us 2 hours instead of 4 hours for that full move to finish. So, I mean, in this case, you just can't do anything with terrible PA, right? You took the trade, but you just didn't follow the entry signals, right? You want to wait for all those VWAPs just to break, right? Once that happens, and then you retest and come down, it's a very likely chance, right? The better the confirmation, the better the move will probably be, right? So not a bad day, it is what it is. We can only take what we get. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna do. Oh, I don't know, maybe I'll finish September's. Maybe 1 second. All right. Yeah, we'll just finish September probably. All right, September 9th, price began to reverse, entering on a short target, previous low, pulled back and retested at opening range low. Eventually saw a strong break to the downside, managed to scalp some profit in full TP, came back to 160 in profit for the day. Good trade overall. All right, let's do his first trade then. NQ set a 40-point range, indicating low initial volatility. Once 15-minute orb was set, price started to break, moving downward, breaking all VWAP levels, entered a low risk position, 1 micro. Once opening range low was broken, targeting previous day low, it was like at 726, will stop at opening range high. Existing book map levels to the downside, managed to scalp out $30 in profit for the first breakout. Price started to reverse, large resting orders to the upside on bookmap, first playing around Asia and London low levels, then shredded past opening range low and VWAP levels. Once it reached Asia high, I exited out of the trade as it was close to stop. Looking back, price slowed down at that level. Those large orders at the top got fluffed out and the price eventually started going down. Could have stayed in this trade all the way through as it ultimately would have paid off, and ultimately however, I feel like I executed proper trade management by entering for low contract size and exiting. I thought the price was going to stop me out. Small break even loss on the first trade. All right, so we can go over those. Kind of low time frame continuation. Would it kind of okay? VWAP confirmation, lower band, some bearish, trending low volume. All right. Just checking the 1 minute, 15-minute, 4 hour, and the daily. I don't think that's necessary, but let's see. This is an interesting one. Okay. Yeah, man. Just let your stop get hit, man. Don't be scared. You set that stop for a reason. You know price could play around, right? Great trade overall. I mean, where you I mean, unless you entered at opening range low, which I'm not sure. I think you might have entered in right here. Um First break of opening range low or highs, typically a retest. But I mean, if you're anticipating shorts in this position, right, and you're only in for one micro, and you only took like an $80 loss or whatever, break even, whatever it may be. I mean, dude, just leave your stop up there, man. Don't be. I'm seeing a continuous pattern. And that continuous pattern is every time price comes into drawdown, you panic, right? You have this panic setting mode on, like I'm losing money right now. Do I have to get out of this position? No, right? Unless it just looks completely fucked, right? Today I got completely fucked. I'm completely glad I got in my position because I was already down $300 and price was not looking like it was going to reverse at all, right? In this case, we didn't even get to the opening. We didn't even get to the opening range high, right? Your stop is set there for a reason, right? If your stop was set at this previous structure, then that's understandable why you got stopped out, right? I would say, okay, yeah, whatever, once it retests, you could have entered it down here and caught them move, whatever it may be, right? Because that's where you wanted your stop, right? Could you set your stop higher? Yeah, sure, you could set your stop at Asia, whatever it may be, right? But if your stop is at opening range high, right, like you anticipated price could come up to, why are you getting out early? Do not be afraid of drawdown. It's just a continuous pattern. You're missing parts of the move and you're getting stopped out at some of the moves just because there's a little bit of fear into it, right? You say your trade management is great. It isn't. You're lying to yourself. You are scared. If it was good, you let it hit your stop loss naturally, right? You have a stop loss set because you, without the stop loss, could either exit out too early or don't exit out at all, right? There's two types of people. I'm the person who I want to see that position reverse. I'm going to add in more contracts. I'm going to hedge this position because I want to be right so bad, right? I'm the guy who, if I don't have a stop loss, I'm going to let it keep running. Seba, you're the guy who is too quick to get out of a position, right? Your personality, it seems like it's more rushed than anything, right? In your trading personality, you're fine to hold the trade if it's green. You did it today, but when it's in the red, you have zero patience, dude. And I mean zero. Let it hold. Let that position come towards. There was probably levels up here, like you said, fluff orders, and then price came down. All you had to do was wait. If you are patient in the market rewards, right? Patience is key. Depends on what kind of trade you are. I like quick scalpy moves. My stop would have been set right about here, right? I would have seen this break of VWAPs, right? Or stop set here. So you break this VWAPs, caught out here, re-entered, got out here, right? That would be me for the finishing day. That's just how I trade, right? But you want to catch the whole move, right? You want to catch all the way down here. You start up here, catch down here. How are you going to do that if you're going to just stop yourself out every time price comes into drawdown? You're never going to catch the full move that way, right? Full moves, they're going to be in drawdown a lot. You got to just be able to accept that. And it seems like you're getting better at it for sure. I would say so, right? From going back from like where this was, I think it was September 10th to now, it's looking a lot better, right? Your analysis is a little bit more clear. You're not really as afraid to draw down, but it's still lurking, right? All you have to do is just take that out of your head. Boom, out. I'm good. Hit stop loss. I am chilling, right? Because you can always re-enter from later, right? There's always a better move. If you miss this move and it actually went past opening range, you lost. Oh, big deal, right? You just can't be afraid. Just can't be afraid. And then I think you ended up catching that move, right? Yeah, you ended up catching that move anyway. So like, and your stop was set at the same fucking place. So I mean, yeah, and you hit your targets. Yeah, I mean, it was a good trade. Right? You still end up catching the move, but just don't be scared. because you would have been able to catch that whole move. Price would have got out of the drawdown. You could have entered in for more, whatever it may be, right? But it's still a great move, right? You still caught the move. You learned your lesson, right? At least you're quickly adaptable. If you're quickly adaptable, it's a lot easier to come back from, small drawdowns. Let's see. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do September 8th. Came with no bias to the market. Love it. 75-point opening range was set, indicating smaller volatility than previous few sessions. Bookmap indicating large resting orders to the upside once price solidly broke through New York VWAP and opening range high, entering on longs targeting high levels via Bookmap. Managed to scalp 90 points in profit. However, price faced resistance around 875 level and failed to climb higher. Should have gotten out after the first retest of New York VWAP, as ultimately I held the trade for too long and ended up with $250 for the day. Lesson from this trade is to be content with taking partials given market condition, range, and consolidation that I will try to implement later in the sessions this week. At least you learned your lesson, right? It's $200 loss. Okay. It was range rejection, key level rejection, sweeper liquidity. So probably was a good trade. Upper bands, it was a bullish, right? Yeah. Let me guess. Did you take longs that day? No, you went short that day, didn't you? I think it's this one. Yeah. Faked out. Yeah, next time. You just got to be patient next time. Yeah, in this case, you were just rushing, right? You caught the opening range a little bit, take a partial, comes into drawdown, take another partial, get out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you entered in down here at this test of New York, I feel like that would have been made more sense to hold, right? Because then your stop could be. I mean, the stop is just too tight. First of all, probably in too heavy. I'm guessing. Which I'm pretty sure you learned your lesson anyways. Yeah, that's just not a good entry, man. And there's not a good stop loss placement. I mean, you give no room for these VWAPs to get retested. That's a simple one. If you're scalpy, right, you scalp this move and you catch that move and call it a day, right? You don't wait. Price retest this move when whatever it may be. Yeah, you just gotta get your new trades are doing well because you actually have that stop loss set correctly. Just entry was wrong. Stop loss placement was wrong. Gave no room to breathe for those VWAPs, and then I eventually did come up higher, but it was just not a very trendy day. So yeah, that wasn't easy to learn from. But yeah, I'm gonna finish up for today. I think that's enough. Yeah, I mean overall, I mean you can see improvement from the first trades we analyzed to what was the problem recently. You're learning good, Saba. I mean, just give it a couple months, man. I mean, especially if your analysis, I mean, deep fucking journaling, understanding what the moves are, why it didn't work, why it did work, what you could have done better, how you could take out more profits. What you're adding everything in and you're thinking about it. That is the most important thing. You're questioning if even the right move was the right move. Good, right? You're doing great. You're doing so much better, man. I mean, you besides yesterday, fucking full porting FOMC, that was just retarded. I mean, you're doing fucking fantastic. Like I can't say anything else besides it. I mean, your last what was it, 3 trades, amazing, like perfect entry, perfect analysis. You're waiting for your confirmation. Your stops are set perfectly. You're entering at the right size. They look great, so that's why you're starting to win, right? All you have to do is just keep that up, right? And if you do make a mistake, just learn from it. And then if you could have pulled more profits, know that for next time, right? And you just got to remember, market is random. Just try to make something out of that randomness, right? But that's gonna conclude the stream. Seba, please watch it. Thanks.